And it centres around Debbie and husband William, who fraudulently crashed in on his life insurance. Tell us a bit how it all unfolds and the chaos that comes from it.
Yeah, there is chaos, that's for sure. It's really about an oddball little family who happen to commit a massive fraudulent crime. They don't set out to. It sort of happens to them because a rather incompetent doctor declares that William is dead. And even though Debbie goes to the funeral director to say that this isn't true, weird things happen there too, which mean that everybody believes that William's dead, and she's handed a death certificate, and she is told to keep the death certificate for the insurance company. And something I didn't know is that if you have Parkinson's, you can really get shafted by insurance companies. And so that's what's happened to this family. And so at that moment, Debbie, who is an agent of chaos, decides that, OK, we'll pretend that William's dead. He'll live in the loft. We'll get the money, give it to the kids. They can get a new house.
There we go.
So she's a bit of a sort of Robin Hood, really. And not that I'm advocating a fraud as a crime, as a good idea. I'm not. But once they jump into this massive mess, they're in it. And Debbie is actually massively calm about it. She normalises it very quickly, and on they go. But of course, the person who has suffered the most is their son, who believes that their dad is dead. They've had a funeral. You know, he's grieving his dad. And when Debbie, the mum, realises how sad he is about that, that's when she decides to tell him the big secret. And from then on, it's about keeping that secret and how they keep, you know, a mad old husband up in the loft.
It's a brilliant moment, actually, and we'll show it now because it's so funny. And it's obviously that Debbie's in charge of William and everything that they do. And this clip here probably proves that.
Oh my God. Dad. I didn't want to do it.
It's just genius. Even in that small clip, it's so funny. But it's really interesting, isn't it? Because obviously the character William, he's got Parkinson's. And how do you balance finding the funny with a condition that is obviously serious?
Well, the thing is that the writer, Simon Mayhew Archer, is the son of Paul Mayhew Archer, who was the co-writer on Vicar of Dibley. And Paul has Parkinson's himself. So Simon is really writing about his own dad, who I know and love very much. And Paul is an extraordinary person who has dealt with his Parkinson's with the most sort of glee, almost. He's very celebratory about it. He's not going to be cowed by it. He wrote a show and took it to Edinburgh about how funny it can be to have Parkinson's. He does a podcast about it. He was there on the set with us. He actually turns up in a cameo in the show as well. So we have Simon's experience of living with his dad with Parkinson's, and actually they don't sugarcoat it. They're quite, you know, they're quite straightforward with each other, savage even, I would say. And so we have the permission from both Paul and Simon to write about their real life situation. And actually, you know, when you cut through all of that, the nonsense, and you stop feeling pity for somebody, that's when it's authentic. And that's what I feel is like we've got an authentic person with Parkinson's in a mad situation.
I was just going to say, because we talked about the chaos there with the family, which you've touched upon. And I know when I saw you this week on the One Show, you're saying it's been quite difficult to promo this show in some ways because the secret's out in the first 10 minutes.
Yes.
You know? But with it being on
I mean,
iPlayer...
it's funny, isn't it? I was so upset that they would release the secret in the trailer. And I said, no, don't do that, don't do that. But of course, we have to do that because that happens in the first 10 minutes of the show. And in fact, it's not really about what the secret is, it's about how you keep it. And this show is a wonderful hybrid, actually. It's a mixture of a sitcom and a thriller. So really, the ongoing narrative of the show is about the fact that somebody knows what they're doing and is blackmailing them. So that's the kind of thrust forward, and it's about finding out who it is that is blackmailing them in the village.
Are you good at keeping secrets in real life, Dawn? Are you like a vault, or do they just sneak out?
I'd love to say I am, but, you know, if somebody tells me that it's a secret, honestly, I put it in the vault and it will stay with me till I'm in 6 foot under. But if they forget to tell me that it is actually a secret, I'm definitely a bit of a blabber, definitely.
Yeah.
So I've made mistakes with that, so I now check with people and say, is this a secret, by the way? Because if it is, I'll keep it a secret. If not,
That's a
watch
good way
me
to do
telegraph it to everybody.
Be less Debbie, be more Dawn, I think is what we learned from that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Always a pleasure. We're not sure if Dawn is doing Strictly Fitness. She might be hiding in the loft. We'll find out at the end of the show. But you can watch Dawn's new comedy, Can You Keep a Secret?
Never been fit in my life, Gethin. Unlikely to start now.
Well, keep to what you do best then. Can You Keep a Secret? 9:30 every Wednesday evening on BBC One. Or you can watch the whole thing on iPlayer. Thank you, Dawn. Lots of love.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Now, everyday sounds like laughter, chewing or